What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review for Ladies First. Dang, I said Ladies First. First Wives Club, Season 2, Episode 6. So, Hazel is at the bridal shop getting fitted for her bridal gown. And again, money comes up. I feel like we're going to come back to this situation with Hazel and her money. Because Bree is like, girl, do you really need to spend this much money on a wedding gown? And of course, Hazel agrees. And even, Jayla? She agrees. And of course, Hazel likes that and says, hey, if you're going to keep agreeing with me, maybe I'll keep you around as my friend, okay? We find out that the showcase for Regina, her new artist, is coming up, but neither one of the ladies can make it. Bree has a really important surgery, and Jayla has the birthday party that she negotiated last week between her client Essence and her soon-to-be ex-husband, and she said, I gotta go monitor the adults, okay? Bree is complaining about Gary's cousin, who is now their temporary nanny, and she was like, she is just doing too much, okay? So then we see Ari and her husband, David. Now, I forgot to say this in last week's episode. At the end of the episode, the night that David didn't get on that plane to come see her when he told her that story about the car accident. Now, I told y'all then that car accident story was some bullshit, okay? Did I not tell y'all? I told y'all. But she brings it up to him and is like, listen, you have on the tie that I got you for your birthday, because she got some pictures of him out to dinner with his assistant. And she was like, listen, first of all, they done tagged that woman as your wife. Okay, we got a problem with that. Second of all, I'm getting sent these pictures, and I know that that's the same night that you were supposed to come and see me, and you told me some old bull hockey story about you having to get on a plane. About you getting into a car accident, but you was out to dinner with your assistant, and I got a problem with that. And he was like, nothing happened. What are you talking about? I did get into a car accident. That was lunch. What are you talking about? And she was like, listen, I know you, and I know you well, and I know you don't wear the same tie in a month, okay? So if you had that tie on, it was the same day, and I don't believe you, because at this point, you done lied to me, and I don't believe you. And he was like, but I didn't lie to you. What is wrong with you? And she was like, whatever. We got Houston. We have a problem, okay? So, Bree, the next morning, Bree had her surgery. It was successful, but of course now, she done slept in, and now she's trying to get her paperwork together so she could do her report on the surgery. And the new cousin, Lavita Jenkins, aka, from the Steve Harvey show, she is their new nanny. That she's Gary's cousin. And of course, she's treating Gary like royalty and treating Bree like girl whatever. And Gary is loving it because, of course, he's getting, treated like royalty. And she's like, well, I need somewhere quiet where I can do my work. And he was like, well, I'm going to write my book. Everything is great. I've been working on my book. Life is great. And it's lovely. We see that Bree spends all day trying to find a quiet place. The cousin done started drinking her wine, watching the TV all loud, and Gary is out back. They done made like a little writing studio for him out back. It looks like the kids' old playroom. And Bree goes out there and tries to, work in his space. And he was like, it's only room enough for one of us, and I'm in here working. I got my creative juices flowing. No, 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 no. And Bree is like, okay, but your cousin is doing too much. Like, she's really bothering me, getting on my nerves. I can't get my work done. She done drank up all my wine. Like, it's a problem. And he was like, what? And what's the big deal? She's really helpful. You don't like her? Oh my gosh, right? Later on in the episode, we see her going out to dinner with her boss. And it's innocent. It's nothing romantical there. But you just see how their progress, how their relationship is progressing. And she was complaining to him about the cousin and why the cousin was getting on his, getting on her nerves. And he was like, well, it's not so bad. I'm sure y'all will work it out. But of course, it was somebody to listen. Because on top of all of that, girl, Gary got a whole 4 pages of his novel written. I lied. It wasn't 4 pages. It was 4 sentences. So, Jayla is at the birthday party with Essence and the husband, and things are going pretty well at first. They're not really speaking to each other, but they're not fighting either. And sometimes in a situation, that's the best you can hope for. Okay, it is a win-win. So then, um, the cake is late. So he was like, "Wait a minute, let me make this phone call. The bakery is running a little late with the cake." So Jayla's talking to her saying, "Listen, I'm proud of you. You've been keeping your cool. Y'all not arguing. Y'all not making a scene. Everything is everything." So she goes in to ask him about the cake. Where's the cake? And he said, "You know what? The bakery's not coming, but I made other arrangements." Now, I feel like this was a setup from the beginning, because how you figure out the cake wasn't coming and make other arrangements that quick? Next thing you know, who come walking through the door? His new girlfriend with the cake. So of course Essence was like, "Oh hell no. That's not what we agreed to. Your girlfriend ain't supposed to be here. Like, those weren't the rules." And he was like, "But I'm a grown ass man. You don't get to tell me what I can and can't do and who I can and can't have around. Like, I brought her, I invited her, and it is what it is." And so Essence was about to fight her. But Jayla had to talk her down and be like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not what we're gonna do." And old girl was antagonizing. See, my thing is, when you know that you wrong and you just go and sit on the sideline, like you the girlfriend to the husband, and you at the birthday party and you already know you ain't supposed to be there. I'm gonna need you to calm down. But she making little smart comments, and she like co-signing, and she getting all in the mix. And baby, I saw this thing coming a mile away. She got ready to walk past Essence with the cake, talking shit. Baby, she threw that cake right in that woman's face. She talking about something. That's assault. That's assault. Call the police. Call the police. So of course it turned into a whole situation. And Jayla had to get on the phone and call Jake, which is his attorney, and be like, "Hold up, you need to call me ASAP because your client has violated. And I got a whole situation over here I'm dealing with." Now, while this is going on, David cannot get in touch with his wife, right? He is calling and calling and calling, and she is not answering the phone. And he is like, "What is really going on?" So we see that his assistant, Miss Vanessa, shows up, and of course, she is on top of everything. Once again, Vanessa is on top of it, and this happened and that happened, and you've been invited here and you've been invited there. And he's like, she's like, "Is it cool? Are we good? Are we cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, I guess." But he is so upset, and he is so sad that he cannot talk to his wife. Now, while all of this is going on, Hazel is getting Regina ready for, and AKA, I'm sorry I did not shout out Miss Deborah Cox, who was playing the role of Regina. I recognized the face. I couldn't put it with a name, but baby, it is Miss Deborah Cox. How did we get here, Deborah Cox? Okay. Um, but Hazel is trying to get Regina together, right? She's putting her in the dress, she's putting her in the hair and the makeup, and Regina keeps making these suggestions. "I don't like that dress. I like this dress. Well, I don't want to wear my hair that way. I want to wear my hair this way." And Hazel is like, "Girl, listen, I know better. I know what's right. I've been here before. I've been down this road before. Listen to me. This is important." And you see Regina's face. You see her getting more and more disconnected from the whole scenario, from the whole process. So the night of the showcase, Regina is sick, and she's like, "I can't go, I can't go." And it looks like she's probably having a whole panic attack. And so Hazel is like, "Girl, what are you talking about? Like, I done went through a whole lot, jumped through a whole lot of hoops to get you on this stage. Like, I need you to get it together." And she said, "Listen, I am willing to compromise, and I promise you I am really, really trying. But none of this is me, and I can't get it together. I have to feel like some of this is me." And Hazel hears her, and she said, "You know what? You're right. I, of all people, understand what it's like to not be allowed to be yourself or not feel like you can be yourself. Um, Go ahead, wear what you want to wear, girl. Do your hair how you want to do it. Just get on that stage." And she was like, "Do you mean it?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm good." So Regina goes on stage, and of course she kills it. And the execs are loving it, and they are feeling it, and they are here. They are boom and boom and boom. But of course, when it's all over said and done, the music exec was like, "Listen, she sound good, but um, but we already have somebody on the roster in her age group, basically talking about Hazel. And she was like, what are you talking about? He said, listen, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. And she said, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. You mean to tell me that you got 5,000 white boys with the name Chris singing the same song that they're regurgitating from what I sang 20 years ago, and we can't have two black women on the same roster? So basically what you telling me is you're going to pit two black women against each other for the same fans? Like, that's ridiculous. And he was like, it is what it is. So Regina comes over and she was like, did they like it? Did they like it? Did they like it? And poor Hazel don't have the heart to tell her no. She was like, because at first she said, no, they didn't like it. They loved it. You know, like she didn't have a heart to really say no, they wasn't feeling it. So Ari calls David and lets David know, listen, we have a problem. And until you are honest with me and tell me what really happened that night, we're going to continue to have a problem. And he was like, what do you mean? She said, you are lying to me and I need to know what's up. So he finally comes clean. See, this is how when you know your husband. Because I was thinking, damn, he telling the truth. She tripping. But nope, I was the one tripping because he really was lying to her. Well, come to find out, it was lunch and he was with Vanessa. Her boyfriend had broke up with her and she was upset, so he took her to lunch to feel better. Later on that night, she called him from a bar. She was drunk, talking about, you know, doing some not so nice things to herself. So he went back to pick her up and took her home. He said nothing happened. There was no issue. And she said, well, why didn't you tell me? Like, why didn't you just tell me the truth? He said, because I really wanted to avoid all of this, but it looked like I really just made the situation worse instead of making it better. But I promise you that's it. And she said, well, how am I supposed to know that now? He said, because I'm not lying to you. And she said, but how do I know you're not lying to me? And so basically she lets him know, listen, we not good, okay? We are not good, and I will talk to you later. Somebody gonna have to get on the plane to go see somebody. Like, that's, somebody gonna have to get on the plane. Y'all got to figure this out. So Jayla finally catches up with Jake. And she lets him know how his client acted a whole fool and brought the girlfriend over. And he says, well, your client acted a whole fool. They talking about pressing charges, assault with a deadly cake. She was like, really? It was a cake. She'll be all right. He was like, I mean, you know, I agree. It's a bit ridiculous. He said, but at this point, what we gonna do about it? Now, they at the bar and they drinking and they really flirting with each other. I already told y'all this. They really flirting with each other. And he basically was like, well, how do I protect my client and keep you happy at the same time? And she was like, well, I have some ideas, but they're really, really bad ideas. He was like, well, what are they? She was like, they're really, really bad ideas. Child, next thing you know, they in the hotel room getting it in. Or they in somebody's house, bedroom, whatever. They getting it in. So that's what it was. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.